Name's Jeff Rubin, and originally from outside of Boston, Wayland, Massachusetts. Been in Syracuse for 13 years. Yeah, the problem or need that we were trying to address at first was people needed websites. And, from 1994 to, let's say, 98, there weren't a lot of people, there weren't a lot of programs out there, the front page, the Dreamweavers, the websites you could go to, the Build It that are there today. And so at first, the need we were trying to fulfill was just, let's build websites for anybody that needs it. So right now, it's probably fair to say 80-85% of our business is collegiate athletics, right? And 15% is other. So we pretty much deal with sports information directors. And so we built Sidearm as a suite of components that addresses their needs, that allows them to carry on their daily activities. But without Sidearm, we had some clients tell us that they would spend 60, 80 hours a week in the office just trying to update their website. And now it was taking them 60, 80 hours, it's taking them 2 to 3 hours. And so Sidearm, obviously, it wasn't us. We had to get into their heads. We had to understand what they do day to day. And so part of it was going down and watching them, going to games and seeing what they did and saying, oh, God, we can do that. We can automate that. Wow, you're really doing stats that way? What if we built this? Here's how you're doing a photo gallery. That's ridiculous. Let's do it this way. And we had built Sidearm 1.0. And Sidearm 1.0 was really out there until 2007, in which case we just completely redid the software to Sidearm 2.0. And that was after, Sidearm 1.0 was really built for Syracuse University, a Division I, pretty big school in terms of collegiate athletics. Well, all of a sudden when you're working with D2s, D3s, NAIA schools, Canadian schools, there's a lot more than what Syracuse University does. And so that was really the shift from Sidearm 1 to Sidearm 2 was now we've had years under our belt of understanding athletics, knowing all the requests that we get over emails over the years, everything we hear at the trade shows. So things changed in 2001. After the dot-com bust, and we survived, and we said, let's change this. And we really started focusing on content management system. We've always built business applications, and we've always said what separates us is we build a CMS, or we build a content management system that fits your needs. And so rather than you having to change your business processes to fit some type of software, we're going to build the software to meet your business processes. And that was in all sorts of industries, right? With a lot of local companies in central New York to national companies, and that worked. But again, in 01, it was this work for hire, and we realized, gosh, we're living paycheck by paycheck or project by project. And so what we changed was saying, well, instead of doing a one-time engagement, isn't everything I ever learned about continuing a relationship, right? And so we said, well, let's have them sign a 3-year renewable contract where they're really leasing our technology. And so they rely on us. We had an opportunity to get into collegiate athletics. All right? And so this opportunity came through Syracuse University. We had already done a lot of work at Syracuse University with various departments on campus, never in athletics. And to go into the details, Syracuse Athletics was in a tough situation. The company they were using for their website went belly up. They were in a bind. I went and met with the athletic director, Jake Krauthamel, at the time, and his staff. And it was myself going against a very large company. And I said, look, we've never done an athletic website, but we can build you a site that does exactly what you want it to do, exactly what I just said a minute ago. We will build it to meet your needs. So there's a lot of risks and a lot of problems. I mean, every day there's a problem. But I think, this summer we experienced a classic case of a company growing too fast, too quick. You go from 100 to 230 schools. That's different than 50 to 100. It's a big jump. And so as we have our brand and our name based on customer service, well, when all of a sudden you're taking on such a large number of schools, it just wasn't feasible to provide that same level of customer service to each and every client over the summer. I mean, everyone in here was stressed beyond belief and trying to get work done, and we still are. And so again, we didn't realize it at first until all of a sudden clients started saying, "Why aren't you answering my email? Why didn't you return my phone call? Gosh, your support isn't what it used to be." And you hear it once and you say, "Okay, disgruntled client, it's going to happen." You hear it twice, 3 times, 4 times. And this is a small, sports information directors they're a community, and so word spreads quick. And so we made a mistake, and we've acknowledged that mistake to our clients. We're very open and saying, "Look, this is what happened. It's the truth. We realize it. We're doing everything we can to hire the right staff and to change our processes to make sure that we turn this all around, and just give us a little time to figure it out, and we're going to do it." And that started with me and all the senior staff and all the part-time workers realizing that we had this issue. Our business is based on websites. Websites run on servers. Servers they're vulnerable. Whether it be through a hacker, whether it just be through an overloaded server, bandwidth issues, an accident somewhere in Atlanta that caused an outage, which took one of our servers offline. It's tough. The hardest part, I think, of running an organization or running a company is knowing when to give up control. Because you never want to. In 1994, I did it all. I did the programming, I did the design, I did the sales, I did the support. Obviously, one person can't do it all. And every time you give up control, I lose a piece of what I love, but at the same time, I'm able to expand. And it always seems to work out, but it's hard to do. So you're hiring your first full-time designer, hiring your full-time programmer. In 2006, I couldn't keep up with demos, with sales. People were emailing saying I'm interested, and I wouldn't get back to them because I didn't have time. And so I made the decision to hire a full-time salesperson, which is scary. A programmer, I know what they're doing for me. I know what I'm getting out of them. Designer, I know what they're doing for me. I know what sales. What if they don't sell? Right? I'm still paying them. Probably the biggest help for a number of years was my father. And also a big piece of motivation for me was my father. Growing up, he was an entrepreneur, but he helped me with contracts and with insurance and with problems, and he couldn't help me with web development, right? He couldn't get that part, but anything with the business side. There were others. There were sounding boards right here within the university. Folks within the iSchool, professors who I would bounce ideas off of. Ethical issues that come up, and you've got to make decisions in business. You absolutely use books and resources from a technology standpoint. God knows how many books I've read on whatever subject it is. So if blogs is the newest thing, I'm going to go out and read books on blogs or webcasting. Or wikis, or whatever it is. I've got to stay educated and on top of it and figure out, is this something that we can incorporate into Sidearm? Is it a fad? Is it something that's here to stay? Those are decisions we have to make. I think there's a couple. Communication is number one. I think being able to communicate verbally and through all types of media. So whether it's a proposal, which is a much more business-oriented document, or an email, or an IM, or a chat, technical documentation. All these forms of communication that we do daily is really what's key to our success. Number 2, I don't know if this is a skill, passion, right? You got to love what you do. It's not just about creating the next best idea, but it's about creating something that you love and working with that. And if that gets you $1 million, it gets you $1 million. And if it just brings you happiness because you love doing it, well, that should be okay too.